Hey, this is Kineer. Welcome to another Starfield video. In this video, I'm going to show you a point of interest in the Shattered Space DLC called Jandar's Rest and a secret way to get in and out of it. This is part of the content on Varun Kai, the planet, outside the city of Dazra. You can find this point of interest on your own just by wandering around the area, perhaps if you're exploring, and you could clear it out on your own. However, it is a key step in one of the quest called A House Divided. This is a side quest, a fairly extensive side quest, a lot of fun, as part of the Shattered Space DLC. And at one point in time, you will be given the location of Jandar's Rest, so you don't have to find it on your own. And you'll be able to go out there, and you're supposed to find this very specific NPC. He's a bit of a mini-boss, and you can either fight him or you can persuade him to give you what you're looking for. However, in this video, as a different approach to what I normally did and what's in my live streams, I don't go in and clear out the entire place. There's actually a shortcut to get in to find this guy and get back out. It takes mere minutes and you don't have to fight anybody along the way. And I'm going to show you that in this video. So let's get started. So here we are in Dazra City, and we have the quest called The House Divided. And you can see here what I've finished up already, returning the evidence to Kizrani, and we're supposed to speak to Tavina at the keep about Jandar's Rest. Essentially, we have a slate that needs to be decrypted or broken into, and we just need to go in and have a conversation with her, and she's going to tell us where this location is and what's on the slate. So we're just going to run inside and run up a couple sets of stairs to her office.
Foolish Victor. The High Council needs access to the power grid if we hope to restore the city.
This is Tavina Vethal.
Vindicator. I was wondering when you graced my office with your presence.
I think a lot of these are similar responses, so I'm just going to take the top one.
All over Dazra. Count myself among them. In fact, I think you and I are going to be fast friends. But I realize that's not why you're here. Shall we get down to business?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Excellent. I take it this is about the missing supplies.
This is part of the quest. I am just going to show her the slate that they gave us.
Well, look at that. The Great Serpent favors us both. It just
She's going to tell me that they have recently discovered a cipher key, and we can look at what's on the slate.
And dropped it off.
It's a simple
A copy of the key.
mathematical calculation.
Well, as you can see, the encryption they're using is mind-numbingly simple. Take the slate number and
Take the slate number that's on the outside, multiply the even numbers by 2, and that is the code to get in. So it's really not an encryption key, it's more of a password, I guess.
You hit the bullseye. Let's see what
What you've won?
Looks like an all-expenses-paid journey to Jandar's Rest. Okay, scanning the coordinates, these point further north.
She can tell us where it's at now. Now, I do not take backup because the approach I'm going to show you today is really kind of just a solo approach, and there's no problem taking Andresia or another companion, but I think the backup might cause problems.
Huh? I suppose any extra hands would just get in your way. But that aside, let's get to the guts of the
She
issue.
wants to have a little side conversation about where we think the thief comes from. I'm just going to take the top one.
They did assign someone to work, and the sheep departure dates of the cortege.
She's going to tell us about a little bit of evidence that she's seen. Take your time and read that if you're playing through this.
Whoever the thief is.
The result is, go to Jandar's Rest and you'll find out.
Enjoyed our time together, but
This last phrase is interesting. She says,
guests are quick to sting.
fish and guests are quick to
Let's
stink.
avoid that from happening to us.
That might be worth remembering for something that I'm not actually going to cover in this video. And if you want to, you could look at her computer. She leaves it open for you. And it's some ship records. A lot of records. Her conclusion is that it's somebody from House Kadik. None of these open up Jandar's Rest. And it tells us when the hymn is spoken, tell your name is the promised.
You might
So
recognize it.
that is useful, and we're done. And we can go on outside.
I cross-referenced it.
So we should now have Jandar's Rest on our map. There's a ship there. It is just to the north and a little bit to the west of the city. I'm going to take my buggy, which happens to be sitting next to my ship. And we'll show you what it looks like when we arrive. And we have arrived just outside, and I think the ship that was there flies away. You can hear it in the background. Now, the important part about this next approach is that I have previously explored around Dazra and around Varun, and I have fought multiple Varun zealots. And so I'm going to switch to a full set of Varun zealot armor that I have acquired. Doesn't have to be particularly good armor because we're really not going to fight anybody. But I will be wearing a full set of Varun zealot equipment. As you can see, I am appropriately attired for this little adventure. I'm going to step up here and you can see me a little better. It's nice stuff. So we'll just go inside. And if we are dressed like a Varun zealot, they think we're a Varun zealot, or they don't have any real reason to believe we're not. And you can loot this area. The officers refined Ravun Starstorm.
They should all be wiped out.
So we have a nice Starstorm there. You know, there's some weapons. You can loot this entire area. Jandar's Rest is what it's called. While you're out here, in case you don't want to do it after you come back out, or there is a small chance if you fail the persuasion check with the NPC you need to talk to that these guys will be hostile if you end up in a fight. So you might want to loot this whole area up front. I always come into this building over here on the side because it has some Varun clothing. Usually that's a nice penumbra and some ammunition. And it has a modified advanced Varun Longfang. This has been here on many, many attempts that I've gone through, so I think it might be common. There's a lab outfit and, you know, some little pieces here or there. So this isn't really critical for what we're doing, but because no one's hostile to us, you can run around and loot this whole area. You just can't pick a fight with these guys or the jig will be up. So we're going to run inside Jandar's Rest. And if we were fighting our way through this, we would turn left at this gate. I think pick this lock, I think. And we would work our way through the entire facility the long way, fighting everyone we met. However, we'll just go to the intercom. And if we remember what we were told on the slate, we are the promised.
Child of Jandar, may you always walk in the light.
Excellent. And we're in. No fight so far. No one's concerned about us. See if we can get next to this door. And the shrine we want to go to is on the right, but we're missing a key. This guy isn't particularly helpful.
Speak to Brother Onamide. They are meditating in the shrine room.
But you'll notice that we now have two markers. Find the key to the shrine room, one over there, and one over in that building in the top floor. So I'm going to run to the one in the back on this side. There are two captains in this room, both of which have a key to the shrine room, and we just need to convince them to give it to us. Now, I do think if you want to, for her, it's not important, but you could drink some Koza for persuasion. It is handy later. I think we can just talk her through this. In particular, on this character, I do have the Serpent's Embrace trait, which makes us a little easier, but there's a path for both of these captains to get the key from them. The eternal embrace given to the promised.
Then go forth, pilgrim, and claim your destiny.
She is all too happy to give us the Zealot Shrine key. If you don't want to talk to her, or if you try it and you've reached a dead end, I would try the captain in this room, who is no longer marked, but we remember where she was. She was in this building. Turn off my light. She is sometimes wandering around downstairs. or she is sitting in a chair or sleeping in the corner, and we can have a conversation with her too.
Want us to reunite with the heathens of Dazra. I am an enervated pilgrim. Drink.
She likes to drink.
That heals me.
So if she would hang out and drink, I can take care of whatever job she has to take care of.
I'm with my spirits. But are you granted?
She's going to test us first. And my answer is always, as a child of Jandar, I follow Jinan's true heir.
I am sorry for questioning your faith.
At which time, if you don't already have the key from the other captain, I believe she will give you the key. You can pickpocket them. I don't know if you could kill them without setting off the whole place. There's plenty of loot here. You could loot this entire area without fighting anyone. There are 4 zealot scriptures if you're interested in those. A little bit of lore and story, but we're all good friends in here now. We're all happy Varun zealots, and they're not concerned about me at all. And there's no one to stop me from going into the shrine, which is the next part of the actual quest. Now, I do a quick save outside the shrine.
Great serpent, aid us in our plight.
Largely because the moment you open the door, you will be put into a discussion with the NPC if you're following the quest. And there is a persuasion check. If you're trying not to get in a fight, you're going to need to do that successfully. And if you don't, sometimes it's nice to have a quick save. We're going straight in.
You're too late, Vindicator. The contact has already returned to Dazra. And your handler, Kisrani, will die by their hand.
So I have a lot of options here, but I'm just going to go for persuasion. He is already a little suspicious that somebody has ratted him out, turned him in, betrayed him. So I play into that, and oftentimes even the highest risk persuasion checks, as long as they play into this suspicion on his part, seem to work fine. They might not.
Betrayed us and fled to safety. Killing us would remove his only witnesses.
So I'm not going to pick this one. I do like this one.
Yes.
Yep.
And I doubt that even the warden, despite all her bloodthirst.
We're just playing into his confirmation bias a little bit.
No. This reeks of foul play.
Lie, your supplier asked me to kill you and cover their tracks. He already believes that? Let's try it.
I suspected the same.
I do have persuasion skill. And let's just say someone set you up. And he goes for it. So I think if your persuasion skill is high enough, you could just use the low risk +1 greens and work your way up.
The name of our contact is from House Kadik.
He gives me the contact and another slate with evidence.
Goodbye, child of Jarek.
And then he insults us on the way out. Now, I will say, at the back of this room, I would ignore the other Varun zealots. You can loot all this. There's a lot of stuff on the ground that you can loot. Pie, credits. I don't think any of it's spectacular, but it's nice. I will note that if you do start a fight in here, if you do end up killing him or any of these, this door is open and everyone inside this entire area will aggro. But if you haven't done that, you are in and out without a single person
But
challenging you to a fight.
there is something to be gained in this one. We should investigate.
We'll just go back outside.
If we are found, the zealots will not negotiate. They deserve
She's a
what
little nervous about that. So at this point in time, since we didn't start a fight, we could continue to loot this entire place. But we're just going to move to the outside. And we have been in and out of Jandar's Rest in minutes. All we have to do now, if we're following the quest, is go back and turn in the quest and continue on to the next steps. But that's the secret way in and out. No combat. Easy as can be. All you need is a Varun Zealot set of spacesuit, pack, and armor. Now, I didn't test it with just one piece at a time. It's possible one piece is enough, but I had 3 of them around, so I used them all. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is Kineer, and I'm out of here.